Hey guys, in today's video, I want to just talk about like something that has been on my mind like for a while, and I need to just like rant it out because instead of talking to myself, I want to just like rant it out. So thanks. First of all, I want to just say before I start this video, right? I want to just mention that I do not hate One Piece. In fact, One Piece is in my top three. I don't start proving to you as of wow how much of a One Piece fan I am, but I'm definitely not lapping One Piece. I am not at all. You know. You can ask me any One Piece thing in the comments and I will answer it well. But don't ask me one minor detail. For example, now don't ask me how many centimeters Luffy's nose is. Because I definitely don't know that apparently. So yeah. But basically, right, I am not a One Piece hater, and I am not, and I wanted to just rant about something I saw. So basically, right, a few days ago, I saw a post on Instagram that basically talks about a major milestone. Apparently, like, well, a major milestone to the person and not to me though, but it's a major milestone to them. So here is what this major milestone apparently is. Now, before I read this post, I want you to know that obviously, right, don't go outside harassing the creator of the post. Don't saying he hates his threads right now because everyone always has an opinion. But anyway, okay. So anyway, here reads the post. Elbaf arc officially the sixth longest One Piece arc, surpassing the Alabasta arc. It says swipe to view, and when you swipe to view, it basically says the same thing, and it shows how Elbaf is the sixth longest arc and how we surpassed Alabasta. The next picture is Luffy, and the next picture is the sponsor. But I won't show the last picture because well they didn't sponsor me, so I won't show them. Now, right? Now personally, right? I don't see how Elbaf being the sixth longest arc in One Piece is such a big deal. Now, is it good for arc to be long? I mean, it depends on what you want like from an arc. Me personally, right? I don't really care about arc length. I don't really care about arc length. Me personally, I don't really care about arc length to be honest. But I don't really see how Elbaf being the sixth longest arc in One Piece is really such a big deal. Um, but before I wanted to start judging, right, I said that let me actually look further into the post itself rather than just looking at the pictures. So here is what the post says. So the full post reads: The Elbaf arc has officially become the sixth longest arc in One Piece history. With the Straw Hats pirates exploring the land of the giants, the Elbaf arc has now surpassed Alabasta in episode count, marking another major milestone in the legendary One Piece anime. As the story builds towards the final saga, fans can expect even bigger battles, shocking reveals, and unforgettable moments from Ichiro Oda's masterpiece. Do you think Elbaf will become one of the greatest arcs in One Piece history by the time it ends? So now that I've read the post, what I have to say is I'm sticking with my initial impression. So um so the post says that Elbaf is going to have like more hype moments, and more action, more lore storytelling, right? Which in my opinion is really good, right? I love the action, I love the whole hype, I love the lore dropping, right? But even as that is good, right, and that brings hype, how does that now tie to being a long arc? How does it now tie to it being a long arc? Because it's being a long arc, right? That has already happened. It has already happened, right? And an arc even being short before, right? It can still build up hype, to other stuff happening. So it's been like long. I don't really see why its length right, now correlates to it. What I do understand now correlates to it. What I do understand, right, that an arc being long is kind of good because like it's really expands story. I don't really see why it being long in itself, right, is such like a milestone. And even if you want to give you the argument that is because it's being long proves that the hype is going to be anymore, or like the hype is like is reserved, or like the hype is just so crazy, right? Because like I did research online and they said that apparently this, because like from what I saw people saying, they said that it's, be it Property Alabaster, has already built up the law, or like it's going to bring it more. But like I said already, um smaller arcs, an arc being smaller can already do that. An arc doesn't mean need to be long. It doesn't need to be long, so that it can have like good law jobs. It doesn't necessarily need to be long, you understand? So another thing I want to like state is now this is like episode one, right, of me being a jerk to random people, who haven't done anything wrong to me personally, just so that I can, just rant, about not me personally, right? I don't mean any hate to anyone. I don't mean to make anyone feel sad, I just like to just express my opinion, on particular matters, and I guess like you notice that I actually repeated myself about my main point because I'm someone who likes to repeat themselves. I'm someone who actually likes to repeat myself. Whether I'm talking to someone or I'm talking like to myself, anybody, I like to repeat myself what I've said. So, no, but if you don't really like me to repeat myself, that's completely fine. That's completely fine. But yeah, but I'm not going to change that aspect of myself. I'm not. I like to repeat myself. But anyway, yeah. If you watched, thanks for watching, and maybe probably I don't really have any reading comprehension. If you disagree with me, that's completely fine. If you agree, give it a milestone, or if you don't, let me know in the comments below, because I probably don't have any reading comprehension. I probably don't have any reading comprehension because like I watch One Piece casually. I don't watch it like with the hopes of making a whole YouTube channel or making a whole post going to start to analyze it, or talking about how Emu is actually a goldfish in the skies. Because like, I'm not that kind of watcher. I don't really watch stuff just analyze them later. I don't really, because like me personally, I'm really good at even like I really good in shows, because like when usually when I watch shows, I don't watch them so that I can analyze them later. I watch them so that I can just like enjoy them. You understand? So yeah, yeah, but just let me know in the comments, what you guys think, because I actually do kind of feel that I have a wrong perspective. So please do let me know about your perspective. And yeah, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Yeah, thanks. Bye. See you later.